So we usually like to give the floor to the new people in. So I will go to first Irene and then Jocelyn and ask, do either of you have a burning topic that you want to bring to the table?
It might be so burning that you've already covered it, so it might be a smoldering topic by now, but you can let me know. Have y'all talked about the second jar of mayo to jump into the political race and all the ads that we're seeing, pretty much everywhere, all over digital media right now for Mayo Bloomberg?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
yeah,
only
Uh-huh.
the
It
touched
Fox
on
has
it,
News
been coming
guy.
up.
and it was much earlier, and I was more just discussing the Facebook thing. But if y'all want to have a little roundtable discussion about spending $400 million to
My God.
become a nominee,
Rehabilitate somebody
y'all
that
should
like
have at it.
should rehabilitate that somebody that's got a long enough track record that they really shouldn't be running for president at all. They should be embarrassed, to have this stuff publicized. The stuff that's just like public record on Mayor Bloomberg is like absolutely ridiculous. The degree to which he went mask off in defending his policy of stop and frisk.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, and it's only because we've got this like emperor's new clothes phenomenon going on here where he's been told that no, you've got enough money, and maybe he's right. Maybe if you have enough
Yeah.
money it doesn't matter. Maybe if you have enough clout it doesn't matter. We'll see if we can get how much penetration, although right now the penetration I think is in the other of course I had to use that word, right?
I love it. I got that.
It's into the other, it's into the Bidens, it's into the Warrens, it's into the Buttigieg bases. I'm guessing that these are going to be the first people that see Mayor Pete and say, sorry, Mayor Pete, Mayor Mike, and say, that looks like a tasty place to throw my vote.
It just amazes me he's running as a Democrat.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I mean, I don't
DNC,
want to
what the
say
fuck?
I don't want to say Mayo side, but
Mayor side. Oh, I mean, in a video game, of course, that's right. Yes. In a video game.
yes.
In Dwarf Fortress, actually, I think you do bury the mayor under in an underground tomb or something.
Interesting.
Is that too deep a cut for people here? Sorry.
We were
I got a
talking.
little
Still need to
nerdy.
try.
We were
Dwarf
talking
Fortress.
about burying rich people in underground tombs as well earlier because they already want their own underground tombs. So
They do. They want to
Yeah.
build nice big cities underground, from what I understand. Like very comfortable, though. Very comfortable places that they can hide out any kind of revolution or
Yeah.
economic or climate apocalypse that they cause through their negligence and their
Yeah. And I was like, hey, they already did that once upon a time, and they were even buried in them. It's like, why not again?
It kind of makes me think of the Mask of the Red Death, the story where all the rich people go to hide out in a castle during the plague, and they feel they just want to celebrate and not think about death and not think about pestilence and all the what's going on outside and what's affecting the common people. And unbeknownst to them, the gentleman under the mask, under the red mask, at their masquerade ball that they're having while everyone else suffers outside, is actually death itself. So, despite all their efforts to make sure death was not on the guest list, death was right there, and they all get the plague and die.
Oops.
So what I get from that is Bloomberg is the plague.
Bloomberg is a plague like of locusts or something. I don't know. Bloomberg's bad. Bloomberg, like actually considering Bloomberg as a candidate is bad. Now, I don't know, like I said, James, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I don't know if the effect of Bloomberg is going to be bad because it might actually help Bernie. The way I'm parsing it right now, it seems like it does help Bernie. And that we're going to split, we're going to fracture the anti-Bernie vote even further. But then, of course, we have the issue of the convention. Should a lot of these people stay in the race, Bernie won't be expected to have 50% that it would take to, guard against any shenanigans, let's say.
Yeah.
So up until 2 days ago, I did not consider Bloomberg a threat at all. I considered him an idle curiosity that the DNC would use to beat up Bernie Sanders on Israel.
Like
And that was
Donald Trump.
Yeah. And then this weekend, I pretty much saw every single Biden supporter bail on Biden, go to Bloomberg, join
Bloomberg.
huge
Oh my
Bloomberg
God.
groups on Facebook, and all of a sudden
Oh,
Bloomberg's polling at like 20%.
Who
oh
who
my
is
God.
surprised though? Who is surprised that Biden voters would go to Bloomberg? Like,
They didn't even wait for the courts to
fuck.
get cold.
Are they
Hey,
too are they too
you know what
homophobic
this
to go
is?
into Pete? What are they? I mean, they have other like, very centrist, horrible, racist mayor choices. I don't understand why they want Bloomberg in particular. Do they just love advertising that much? I mean,
Well, look at it this way. The DNC loves a free ride, so at least this is one they
oh,
don't have to
good
pay for.
point.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so real quick, so
Second, I'm
Jocelyn,
gonna grab something.
you're in DC. You
Yes,
actually
I
talk to
am.
people, like Congress people and Senate people. I thought the Bloomberg thing was going to be a distraction, and all of a sudden, I'm now concerned. Tell me I'm not wrong.
I
Tell
mean,
me
I
in
don't.
DC, like actual like DC machine people are all
Yeah.
of a sudden viewing Bloomberg as viable. Like I'm not
Yeah.
making this up, right?
You're not
Yeah.
making this up, and I mean, he has former Obama donors backing him. It's like it's a strange, disturbing phenomena. You have this random guy. Look, as far as random billionaires go, I'd be fine with Tom Steyer. Like, if we really have to go that route, at least Tom Steyer that I know of isn't an alleged avowed rapist, racist, bad. Like, legitimately, Bloomberg is the worst form of Republican, and he's just I don't understand fully what he plans to get out of this. It seems to be a personal vendetta sort of situation, but yeah.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if that was his MO, because like the guy just gives that vibe off where he's got this like very vindictive kind of
Yes.
Well, he's
thing
a
about
petty
him.
tyrant. He's
Yeah.
been that all he's used to that role. Like
Mm.
just like Donald Trump, if somebody's been in this role all their life, there's a certain power that they hold. Their entitlement actually represents, a power. The same way that like, people who are socialized male feel more entitled to raise their hand in a classroom.
Yes.
Right? It's like that sort of knowledge of like, I can do this. I've done this before. Nobody's going to say anything. And they just kind of bowl through. And whereas like people, all the Hillary people, or the centrists, the Morning Joe's kind of hand-wringing about Donald Trump doing that, and they're like, "Oh, it's so rude," but they literally can't do anything about it because he is entitled, and our society does offer privilege to those, born in the almost more with Trump, like because if you look into his billions, you'll find out that they are maybe not even a billion, but like the
Yeah.
social kind of clout that he holds, the social capital that Donald Trump holds,
It's
the
immense.
place in society that he has, it
Yeah.
gives him that.
Well, I love, sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
I love that you bring up the social capital aspect because it's interesting. Charles brought this up on one of our morning streams. It's really easy to minimize social capital and minimize cultural power, but that's what drives these things forward. People who are able to create the idea of their own power, that is power. Like, power isn't some empirical material phenomena that runs through everything. It comes from the distribution of privileges and resource. And it's like you're saying, if you're socialized to navigate that in a very aggressive way, you have an advantage. And that's not a good thing
No.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, it represents like, cultural hegemony. It's not just a random, this is the way the like waters of culture flow. This is the way the waters of culture were set up to flow to benefit certain people over others.
Yes. Yes, exactly.